How's everybody doing out there? Nice, nice. We're about to pick it up a little bit, get a little more energy going.
Welcome to Mountain View High School, home of the Toros. I am Dr. Mike Oliver, principal of Mountain View High School. Since 1976, this school has stood as more than just a campus. It's a community. It's a legacy. It's a family. From humble beginnings in Mesa, Arizona, Mountain View quickly became known for excellence. Excellence in academics, athletics, arts, and above all, character. The land that Mountain View stands on used to be miles of dairy farms. That's why we're the Toros. The year we opened our doors as a school was our nation's bicentennial anniversary. That's why our school colors are patriotic red and blue. Mountain View's first graduation class had over 540 students. This year, we have over 900 seniors who will walk across the stage and earn their diplomas. In 1998, the Mesa Tribune published an article naming Mountain View the campus of champions because of the multiple state championships we earned in athletics, academics, and the arts that year. The nickname has stuck as Mountain View students have continued to excel in every arena. Here, tradition is everything. There's nothing quite like a Friday night under the lights at Mountain View, the roar of the crowd, the chants echoing across the entire East Valley, the band setting the tone. It's not just a game. It's a family gathering. And every fall, we kick off with the Traditions Assembly, where we celebrate our traditions of excellence, highlight our alumni, and honor the cultures and traditions of our students. It's all about showing up, dressing up, and lifting each other up. But Toro tradition goes far beyond pep rallies. It's in the pursuit of excellence, the long rehearsals, early practices, to late night study sessions, whether it's on a stage, in a lab, or in national competitions. Our students rise to the challenge. They're Toros. Leadership, service, and connection are at the heart of who we are. From freshmen finding their way through Toro Link, to students giving back on community service days, to seniors watching the sun rise together as one class, these are the moments that tie generations of Toros together. Our past students laid the foundation, the first Toros, who shaped our traditions, who built our reputation, who carried our spirit into the world. Their leaders, their parents, teachers, and many of them are right here, right now, tonight, watching the next generation walk the very same path. Today's students carry that legacy forward with passion, with pride, with purpose, in classrooms, on stages, in labs, and yes, on the field. They represent what it means to be a Toro. Toros are resilient. Toros are driven. Toros are united. And the future, they're already watching in the stands, in the community, in the schools that feed into Mountain View, dreaming of the day that they'll wear red and blue. We don't just prepare students for what's next. We inspire them to believe that they belong here. While only 2 speeches are delivered at graduation, we were incredibly impressed by all of our finalists. Their words were powerful, heartfelt, and represented the spirit of the class of 2025. Please enjoy these messages from our graduation speech finalists.
And so begins the next chapter of our lives. A bit cliche, isn't it? This is the next stage of what is to come, this is just the beginning, and so on. There are too many overused expressions of this nature when discussing graduation. However, I think it is important to look at what this next chapter concept really means in the grand scheme of things. Joseph Campbell, an academic, found that almost all stories follow a general format, which he penned the hero's journey. The hero's journey model is more complex than I'm getting now, but these are the fundamentals. A main character is prompted by some known or unknown force to venture out from their comfort zone. They begin a quest to find something tangible or to discover themselves. They meet a mentor figure who gives them critical advice for the world they are about to enter. They encounter other characters along the way who may help or hinder them. They cross the threshold into this new world where they must adapt to reach their goal. They pass the final trial and are able to return to a state of home, but the character has been changed by the trials and tribulations they endured along the way. We can consider favorite books and movies such as Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings as prime examples, but these fundamentals hold true in other stories as well. We are all the main characters. Through our efforts in these past years, we have grown immensely, as students, as peers, and as people. Our teachers and parents have been our mentors along this path, advising us on the road ahead. We stepped across the threshold of high school as we entered the gates every day, and although we might not have known it, grew ever closer to the goal. Whatever you set out to do from here, whether it's attending trade school, going to college, entering the workforce, joining the armed forces, or carrying out a mission, you gained valuable knowledge and experience. That was the goal. This revelation is so vastly monumental. At every step and mini-step, we have been presented with decisions, big and small. Should I study more for an upcoming test or get more sleep? What college should I apply for? Should I actually attend the assembly or quietly wait in the hall and hope no one notices? One fascinating category of books out there is called Choose Your Own Adventure. They're a lot of fun to read, since at critical moments in the story, the reader gets to choose what happens by flipping to a given page number. There are different pathways created, making each read-through a unique experience. A book of this nature may boast of having 10, 20, even 30 possible endings. But life going forward? As the heroes in our own stories, there are infinite choices and an unknown number of outcomes. We are free to choose and shape our course as we quest onward. An amazing aspect of this is that it does not end here. Campbell's model is not linear. It is drawn in a circle, its cyclic motion showing that the hero's journey does not end. Could one say that tonight marks the start of a new chapter? Sure. But I think it is better to say it is the start of a new journey. No matter the role we may play in the stories of others, it is important to remember that we are each main characters as well. Parents, teachers, you all have completed several journeys of your own, and as you join us here tonight, you are witnessing the beginning of the next journey for the class of 2025. As much as I am tempted to quote sophisticated authors, philosophers, or politicians, I find myself recalling a statement of encouragement from an iconic children's book and TV series. To quote Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus, "Take chances, make mistakes, get messy." No matter where your particular journey will leave you, do take chances. Life is full of opportunity. It's a journey, but all the more reason to enjoy where you are along the way. There will be difficulties ahead, as in any story. We each have our own dragons, cyclops, armies, expectations, or internal struggles to battle as we push forward. And that's the difference. As the central characters, we will endure. There was once a television program that some of the adults in the audience may remember. It was called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and the title character would spread positive messages, specifically, "I love you, just the way you are." Going forward, keep the following item in mind. You are special and unique, and no one can replace you. Live your story as main characters, becoming the best that you can be. Tonight, the class of 2025 stands on the threshold of the future. I am honored to stand before you all, fellow classmates, parents, and teachers, and to invite us to take that singular, unified, monumental step that will begin our next adventure.
Before we get started, congratulations! We did it. After 4 years of work, we've earned our diploma. Harder than it sounds. Now that high school is fading behind us, we can dream of what else we want to accomplish, released from the restrictions of youth and school. Some of us want to change the world. Some want to learn everything there is to know about molecular biology. Others want a long and prosperous career, and some just want a sick car. Regardless of what we dream of, I believe in our capacity to pursue them wholeheartedly. Others are going to try to put their dreams on us, like jobs, family, political parties, or advertisements. No, YouTube, I don't want to buy insurance, and if I did, I'd look for it myself. It's totally fine to cooperate with the dreams of others, but those who want us to follow their dream don't and can't take into account whether we can follow. It's not possible to work overtime every day for weeks, volunteer every hour of free time, or have the perfect routine. We can fall into the trap of trying to do everything perfectly. I've seen plenty struggle throughout high school, prioritizing getting every answer correct and maximizing every detail of every project, or getting the fit flawless, sacrificing an unholy amount of hours in the process. The truth is, we are limited by our time, a mere 18 hours per day awake, and even fewer hours to spend intensely focused. We have limits on our energy in the short term and motivation in the long term. We have circumstances that might hold us back. It would take hundreds of lifetimes to accomplish our dreams, others' dreams, and to do any of it without mistakes or flaws. We don't have eternity. We only have now. These limitations are disappointing, but they're also essential parts of being human. What if we embraced our limitations? Well, we would recognize that there's no expectation to do everything and be perfect. It's impossible. We get the power to say no, because life's too short to agree to every demand. We get the opportunity to experiment. Life's mistakes are temporary. We get the freedom to change course. We aren't stuck in a dead-end job forever. We give ourselves permission to enjoy life, rather than squeeze every last drop of stuff out of it. We are liberated from the tyranny of perfectionism when we recognize that achieving the perfect isn't possible for mere mortals, and its pursuit distracts and detracts from what's most valuable and attainable. There's an old quote from Voltaire: "Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good." It's counterintuitive that trying to make something as good as possible ruins it, but it's true. Sometimes when driving to school, I caught the sunrise just right on the clouds in the morning. On one of those picturesque occasions, I remarked, "Wow, this is beautiful." To which I heard the reply, "Yeah, it's all right, but I've seen better. There could be more clouds." By comparing the beautiful morning to a hypothetical perfect sunrise, we inadvertently diminished the value and beauty of what was right in front of us. The same applies when we compare how we are to what we think we could be. We're frustrated when we procrastinate or fall short. But if we instead focus on what we are capable of, we can be proud of what we've accomplished and how far we've come. Heck, we made it to graduation. School has already taught us plenty that makes us think, "Cool story, bro, but when is this going to come up in real life?" Today, I will not follow that example. Here's what practically happens when we embrace our limitations. We appreciate each sunrise on its own merits. We recognize that sometimes we get distracted, and instead prioritize a few hours of focus, rather than demanding it every second of the day. It means keeping a done list of everything we've completed that day, rather than feeling in debt to our endless to-dos. It means treating the to-do list as a to-do menu from which we pick a few options. Eating only a few things at a restaurant is reasonable. Eating the entire menu in one sitting is impossible. As I've started to fully absorb this idea, I've noticed that I'm more proud of the work I complete each day, and my free time is more relaxing. Achieving our potential isn't about doing everything. It's about doing what we care most about. Our limits clarify our potential, not diminish it. We get to choose. We choose what we do with our limited time. We get to choose what we want success to look like. We choose what's worth experiencing, what's worth working on, and even which TikTok to watch. That power is incredibly rewarding to exercise. So, don't artificially limit your freedom by trying to be perfect. Embrace that freedom and the imperfection that comes with it. We can experience lasting happiness by letting the good overcome the perfect, embracing our limitations, and being picky about how we spend our time and energy. Let's accept our diplomas with pride in our accomplishments throughout these years. Let's accept them, liberated by the knowledge that we're not obligated to do everything or anything perfectly. Congratulations, class of 2025, and let your future be an imperfect one.
13 years, 156 months, or 4,609 days. The allotted time that has passed since I, and the majority of us sitting on this field, started the very first day of our academic careers. Kindergarten. Look at us. We went from singing the ABCs and using counting blocks to getting ready to turn our tassels because we successfully figured out how to use y equals mx plus b. We have gone through 66 teachers, about 1 million scantrons, and numerous hours of carpool pickup to lead us to this moment. Thinking back to 4,609 days ago, when I was standing in front of my front door posing for a picture with a sign that said, "My first day of kindergarten," I probably didn't even know what graduation was. Each year we would look forward to the next one before this one even began. We weren't allowed to slack off or let the time just pass us by because, unfortunately, by law, we had to attend school. Thanks to our school system, we never had the time to sit idly by. We were constantly studying, preparing for tests, completing nightly homework assignments, checking our Synergy portals, and focusing all of our energy towards keeping our grades above average all year round. At that moment, I absolutely hated it. I couldn't wait to graduate and finally be able to see that sleeping panda Canvas shows us when we have nothing left to do. However, looking back, I realized it created a schedule for us. It prompted us to continue to be productive and work hard at something every single day. Of those past 4,609 days, we spent approximately 3,293 days in school. 3,293 annoying alarm clocks interrupting our dreaming but helping to lead us closer to our achievable dreams. After today, those school alarm clocks can stop. When we look back at our timeline, we can all agree it was a successful one. We can reflect on our time spent on this campus and know that the hard work and dedication paid off. We should all feel extremely accomplished. As we embark on this next journey of our lives, we need to guarantee that we do not let time pass us by. We must create a new schedule leading us to another moment of success. Class of 2025, do not let time pass you by. Don't wake up and say, I have so much time ahead of me, I have plenty of time to figure out what I want to do or the change I want to make in this world. We'll eventually be 85 years old asking ourselves how we spent our lives. What did I do to make this world a better place? Do not let yourself fall out of the productive cycle that school has drilled into us. As I was writing this, I was heating up my lunch in the microwave. I was watching the endless 2-minute timer count backward. The time it took to heat it up felt like forever because I was starving, or maybe because I'm also very impatient. However, when it was finally done, I took a bite and burned my mouth badly. But then I let it cool off and I ate it, and I completely forgot about how dreadfully long those 2 minutes I had to wait felt. I thought about how growing up, all I could think about was graduation and how far away it felt. I felt like I would never make it, and each time I thought about it, the farther away it seemed. Now that I'm here, the long years in waiting seem to disappear. In reality, when I look back, time flies by faster than I could have ever imagined. We cannot let these next essential years of our lives go to waste. We should not scroll social media when we could be out socializing, exploring career options, or developing a new talent. When we graduate, people always say to us, we have so much time ahead of us, or we have years to figure out what we want to be. But in reality, the more time we think we have, the less we actually do. Every single day of these past 13 years has just felt like an ordinary day. But in reality, it was 24 hours that led us to something bigger, our graduation. We don't realize it at the moment, but every day determines how we are going to live our future. If we had missed that test or decided not to show up for that final exam, our epic would have been missing a moment. Since we will no longer have our teachers and the threat of being grounded by our parents to keep us focused and productive, it is up to us to determine how to live these next chapters, comparable to the ones that just passed. Sunday, January 3rd, 2038, 4,609 days from today. 2038 sounds like an eternity away. However, it is the exact amount of time that it has taken us to graduate and become the people we are today. Where will we be? How will we be? What will we have done by then? When we get to that date, we want to look back and feel the satisfaction and pride we all are feeling sitting in these chairs. We are the only people who can guarantee that same feeling, the feeling of knowing we have accomplished hitting the first milestone our younger selves set for us, and how proud they would be looking at us now. Make a milestone that your 4,609 days older self will be proud of. We are creating our lives day by day, so how will we live the next 4,609 days starting tomorrow so our combined years create a successful life? Congratulations, Mountain View Toros class of 2025.
I've always known the tooth fairy was a myth, but that didn't stop me from feeling a rush of panic every time a tooth wobbled in my mouth, or a strange mix of fear and anticipation as I held a tiny, blood-stained piece of myself in my palm. But somehow, money always appeared under my pillow. Growing up between cultures, I experienced this myth in two versions. Sometimes it was a delicate fairy, and other times a rat. My mother switched between them as if choosing the right story would make the whole ordeal less terrifying. But the day I stood there, stringy tooth in hand, I realized that both were myths, just like the many of stories we are told throughout our lives. Myths follow us into adulthood, shaping how we see the world and ourselves. The myth of perfection says that mistakes define our worth. The myth of self-sufficiency whispers that needing help makes us weak. But the most isolating myth of all is that we're alone in the end. We have been told our entire lives that one day we'll be on our own, that after graduation is an endless game of figuring things out alone, that success is a solo mission, that at some point we'll wake up and stare at a pile of bills and think, oh, this is it. I am alone. But that's just another myth, a dramatic, anxiety-inducing lie, because no one in the history of ever has truly done anything alone. Every invention, every breakthrough, and every success story has had one thing in common: people. Even the so-called self-made billionaires had someone who gave them a shot, someone who inspired them, and let's be real, probably someone who loaned them money. Even Batman, the ultimate lone wolf, isn't actually alone. Sure, he broods on the rooftop, radiating "I work best in the dark" energy, but without Alfred keeping him grounded, Lucius Fox designing his gear, an entire team backing him up, he'd just be some rich guy in a cape making highly questionable life choices. If Batman were truly alone, he wouldn't be the Dark Knight. He'd be an exhausted, overworked vigilante, losing fights he should have never taken on solo. Society often promotes isolation because struggle is portrayed as noble. From films to advertisement, we see the lone hero and the self-made billionaire linking independence to success. Social media and workplace norms suggest that asking for help is a weakness. However, the truth is that no one achieves success alone. Think about it. Did we get through school alone? No. Some teachers put up with our last-minute excuses, classmates who whispered answers when the teacher's backs was turned. Not that I'm endorsing that, of course. And family members who somehow pretended to understand our schoolwork just to help us study. Cesar Chavez said, "You are never strong enough that you don't need help." He may have been the face for a farm workers' rights movement, but a leader without a movement is just a person with an idea. The victories he fought weren't won by one speech, one march, or one hunger strike. They were won because of the thousands of farm workers, many of them immigrants, many unseen by society, stood together, raised their voices, risked their livelihoods, and demanded change. The movement would not have been successful without thousands of people working for a common cause. Being alone doesn't always mean being lonely. It means that remembering connection is always possible. And connection isn't some grand mythical force. It's the friend who texts us a meme that makes us snort in public. The stranger who compliments our shirts that instantly brightens up our day. The little moments that remind us, oh, maybe I'm not as alone as I thought. Because here's the truth. Life will change. People will come and go. We'll move to new cities, take on different paths, and sometimes feel like we've drifted too far to find our way back. But distance doesn't erase the impact we've had on each other. The friendships we've built, the moments we've shared, the laughter, and the struggles aren't forgotten. They stay with us. And when life feels overwhelming and we find ourselves staring at an empty apartment, a difficult decision, or a challenge that makes us want to turn back, remember this. Remember the people sitting on Toro Field tonight, and the times where we thought we were alone, only to realize that someone was always in our corner. We are not alone. We never were, and we never will be. Congratulations, class of 2025.
This is Mountain View. This is Toro country. Tradition lives here in every hallway, every classroom, and every chair from the stands. And tonight, we celebrate not just an ending, but the legacy that continues.
Fellow graduates, you may now be seated. Good evening and welcome to the Mountain View High School 2025 Commencement Ceremony. My name is Joshua Fillmore and I am the Mountain View Student Body President. Please stand and join our esteemed Performing Arts Department for the National Anthem and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing as we observe a moment of silence to recognize those who cannot be with us this evening. Thank you. Please be seated.
Skukunyik, Anian of Chugik Kenya Wood, Un Og of Chugik Howard Wood, Un Juug of Chugik Victoria Wood, Un Vask of Chugik Norman Wood Ba, Un Hur of Chugik Maryland Wood, Ma Bababa of Chugik Eddie Yazi, Un Gagaa of Chugik Mabo Yazi Ba. Yate Kenya Ninsha, Sanji Kena Nshlon, Kiani Dashimasane to Turichini Dashinelle. Hello everyone, my name is Kenya Wood. I'm a member of the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community and as well as the Navajo Nation. I am the secretary of the Native American Heritage Club at Mountain View, and tonight I'll be reading the land acknowledgement. It is vitally important to acknowledge the land that we live and work on is the homeland of the Native people, who have inhabited this landscape for a millennia and continues to be spiritually connected to the O'odham of Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. The SRPMIC, who live here today. The SRPMIC is located in the city, Scottsdale, Arizona, and is a confederation of culture, language, custom, religion, and history. The O'odham, known as the Pima, and the Pipaj, known as the Maricopa, are both oral history cultures. Sapo. Thank you.
Good evening. Dr. Randy Mallerwine, Assistant Superintendent. Mr. Scott Thompson, Assistant Superintendent. Ms. Lacey Chaffee, Mesa Public Schools Governing Board Member, our Mountain View administration, faculty, and staff, parents, family, and friends. On behalf of my fellow graduates, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2025 Mountain View High School Commencement Ceremony. It has been my pleasure to serve as class president these past 4 years. While helping others has always been a passion of mine, my first passion was music. In the 4th grade, I began playing the viola because my sister played it, and I desperately wanted to be better than her. I practiced my scales nightly, emphasized my dynamics in every piece I played, and surpassed my classmates with my musicality. By the time I was in middle school, I was placed in advanced orchestra programs and continued working diligently to become the best at my craft. I strived to be the best violist, and I was, until I stepped foot on this very campus. I walked into my first day of high school, ready for orchestra, as it was the one thing that was familiar to me. But after our first assessment, I was placed in 4th chair, an unthinkable to me. While I was familiar with orchestra, I wasn't familiar with people who excelled more than I did. After being beaten out time and time again for first chair, I quit orchestra my junior year. However, I did not let my failures stop me. I began exploring other activities. I put my efforts forth in student council and began taking jewelry classes here. Now, I'm not telling anyone to quit a passion when experiencing difficulty. I stand here to proclaim that we are bound to face hardship. Every stage of life has its challenges, but it also has wonderful experiences to go alongside. It is our job to learn from those challenges and explore the many things this world has to offer. I mean, if I wasn't a terrible violist, who knows whether I would have the honor of speaking here this evening. Before becoming a fashion designer, Vera Wang initially pursued a career in figure skating before finding her true calling. In college, Samuel Jackson studied marine biology before switching his major to drama, later becoming a world-renowned actor. Each one of us has unique gifts and talents that are waiting to be explored. As we step into a new part of our lives, I urge every single one of us to find that calling, experience it, and use it to bring others joy. Congratulations, class of 2025. We did it!
Honored guests, administration, faculty and staff, ladies and gentlemen, parents, and my fellow graduates of the class of 2025. It is my distinguished pleasure to address you on this honored occasion. Now, we have traveled through renovation, dust, backed up metal detector lines, and practice block schedules. We've celebrated big wins and quietly survived hard weeks, patiently waiting for this day, waiting for this taste of accomplishment. The treachery of the daily challenges remind us that through the patient enjoyment of the journey, we have arrived. At the start of a classic Chinese parable, a young man runs into a dilemma like many of us have been facing for the past couple of years. Feeling lost and unsure, the man ran down a deep forest path and sought shelter with an old hermit. The young man shared his sorrows and frustrations, asking the hermit 3 questions I'm pretty sure we've all been asking ourselves since spring break. Why should I return? Simply to revel in my misfortunes? What is the point of going on at all? The hermit glanced at the young man before gesturing to a pair of plants, a lush fern stretching a measly foot in the air, and a vast bamboo stalk. I planted these seeds on the same day, the hermit explained. The fern quickly grew from the soil, sprouting into a full green creation. At the same time, the bamboo seed appeared to sit dormant and remain that way for 5 long years, until one day it sprouted, and within 6 months, it had grown to be 100 feet tall. The young man asked, how could that be possible? To which the hermit replied, it needed to plant its roots before it could soar. Now, when I first came across this story, it immediately made me consider our track of growth, not only as a campus or as a student, but as a person with choices to make and a future to design. The tendency to look at the slow drudgery of the road rather than the place we are going is objectively natural, but it doesn't mean it will get us to our destination any quicker than we might wish. Life requires us to be patient and enjoy the experience, with each new thing preparing us for that victorious 100 feet of growth. Author Jesmond Ward said it best. Success is not the result of making one good choice, of taking one solid step. Real success requires step after step after step. It requires choice after choice. It demands lifelong education and passion and commitment and persistence and hunger and patience. Unfortunately for us, this often isn't the hardest part. Living in this world, comparing our progress and experiences to others is inevitable. But like the bamboo seed, just because our path may be less visible does not make it less possible. The lack of a stalk for 4 years does not diminish the value of the 5th. Of course, this doesn't mean we merely get to wait for our stalk to grow. I'm afraid the other half of that quote did, in fact, include hunger, persistence, and perhaps the worst of all, commitment. I know, it scares me too. But think back to that parable. At any point in time, the bamboo seed would have died had the hermit neglected to provide it with water, but he didn't. He was committed to that plant, and it reaped the benefits. Class of 2025, we are sitting on the cusp of our futures. We get to decide what we achieve today, tomorrow, 5 years from now, and beyond. We determine the final destination, no matter how long the road is. We are responsible for watering the seed. At the conclusion of the parable, the young man exits the forest. Same path, new perspective. The same can be said for us at this moment. Our timelines will be different and our experiences will vary. But more than ever, we should revel in the opportunity to become a magnificent product of experimentation. Expand our roots. Try hard things and water the seeds of curiosity. Whether it be storming into the workforce, serving a full-time mission, falling in love, starting a family, applying for law school, auditioning for a Broadway show, writing a book, launching a business, or becoming an astronaut. All of it is growth. We must persist through the dormant times, and above all, we must make the journey our own. Because, in the very confident words of Ellen DeGeneres, never follow anyone else's path. Unless you're in the woods and you're lost and you see a path, then by all means follow that path. May we all look to the future with pride, ready to commit to ourselves and the world we now get to be a part of. May we go forth into a life full of learning and persistence, because in a forest of 100,000 trees, or in our case, nearly 800 graduates, none of us will grow exactly alike. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2025.
Distinguished guests, Mountain View administration, faculty and staff, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, I too am honored to be here with you at the class of 2025 commencement ceremony. The sun beat down, scorching and burning my skin. As sweat dripped from my brow and a sharp pain accompanied my every breath, I wondered, why did I do this to myself? The hell I'm referring to is running. During my sophomore year, I took a class that changed me fundamentally, track and field, specifically long-distance running. I was not athletic by any means, and I was required to run about 2 miles a day, something I struggled with. Now, you'd think this speech would be about slowly overcoming that struggle, learning to love running, and in turn, sharing my experiences with everyone here. I dropped track and field, second semester of sophomore year. At the time, I considered taking that class a failure. I considered it a failure for 2 main reasons. First, I felt I had not learned anything. And second, my legs still hurt. Even though I only did the sport for a single semester, I wanted to take something from my failure. So that summer, I decided to try again and went on one final run. Failure is crucial to success, and failure is everywhere. We can look back to history with Abraham Lincoln, who suffered from nervous breakdowns and feelings of inadequacy throughout his entire life. We can talk about it in English, where Stephen King, urged on by his wife, dug the story that started his career out of a garbage can. It can be measured in science with Thomas Edison, who suffered thousands of failures to invent the light bulb. And finally, we can sum up these examples of failure with math and Albert Einstein, who in 1914 initially failed to prove his general theory of relativity. However, in all of these examples, we find that not only is failure implicit, but so is improvement. Lincoln's feelings sparked the empathy he used to make the world better. Stephen King's story was built off of hundreds of rejection letters, each one acting as a lesson to improve his writing. When questioned about his thousands of failures, Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And Albert Einstein did not give up. Half a decade later, he tried again and succeeded. Every part of what we learn at school, English, history, science, math, all of it provides an engine for failure and improvement. Flash forward to now, I've realized that I learned something from track and field. I learned that what I initially thought was some monumental failure was something I could improve from. Because I could not do something I thought I failed, but I only failed to improve. I ask that we all apply the idea of self-improvement from the face of failure to not just running or school, but to our entire lives. The thing is, failure is an invariable part of life, and by choosing to pursue it, accept it, and ultimately learn from it, we will succeed. Nowhere else is that more apparent than this evening. Just being here to graduate means that every single one of us has failed, and everyone here has improved because of that failure. I have found that school and running are very similar. Both feel like they take eternities, both come with their own highs and lows, successes and failures, and both require us to use those failures to learn and improve. Runners strive to improve themselves physically, and as students, we used school to improve mentally. But both of these improvements are built on failure. We have just finished a marathon. Every person here today took 1,000 steps to graduate. Some of us will sit out the next lap, and while some of us will continue running ahead. But no matter what, we should all strive to improve. Improve because there is nothing else to do but keep moving, keep learning, keep growing, keep failing. As bamboo needs water and soil to grow, we need failure to do the same. If we embrace failure, we use it to improve, then we will never really fail. Through a marathon, we gain experiences that shape us greatly. Experiences that we will carry until the day we stop moving. Never forget the race and always look toward the finish line. Because today is not the first day in the rest of our lives. The race never ends. So I ask for us to improve by failing and never fail to improve. Run ahead and fail in every endeavor. Oh, I still run.
Testing. Okay. All right, what you didn't hear me say was hello, Toro family, and let's give it up for the Mountain View Band, Choir, and Orchestra. Okay, there we go. Thought you guys were giving me the silent treatment there for a while. This is much better. Thank you. So we are privileged, Mountain View Toro Nation, to have Mrs. Lacey Chaffee of the Mesa School Board and Assistant Superintendents Dr. Randy Mallerwine and Mr. Scott Thompson with us this evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Before we get started, while we've experienced many joyful events this school year, our time has also been marked by the tragic loss of loved ones, and in the front row right here, we placed a chair that will always remain empty for today's graduation and for years to come. We remember those we've lost, so at this time, please take a moment to remember them now, their smiles, their happiness, and the positive impact they made in the lives of all who knew them. Thank you. Graduates, I want to express how deeply I've witnessed your journey. I know you Toros. I've watched you in the classroom. I've watched you on the stage and on the ball field. Your dedication, your passion, your determination have shone brightly. Within your heart burns a flame of potential, a belief that you hold the power to shape your destinies and leave a lasting impact on the world. Among this extraordinary class is our valedictorian, Mira Narasimhan, who graduates tonight with an astounding 4.935 GPA. Yes, let's give it up for Mira. Your academic excellence and leadership are a shining example of what it means to be a Toro. Congratulations, Mira, and your family. To the parents of our graduates this evening, I know the journey to this point has felt like the twinkling of an eye, and boy, they grow up fast, don't they? Toros, before we go any further, please take time right now and give a resounding round of applause to your family and friends who have supported you through the years. Thank you, Toros. The teachers, staff, and administration at Mountain View pour their heart and soul into the lives of the amazing young people we celebrate this evening. If you are a Mountain View staff member, teacher, support staff, classified staff of any kind, security, with this incredible group, please stand and be recognized. Thank you so much. So grateful for you. Mountain View was born in 1976. The legacy and culture that have been developed by past graduates are unrivaled. If you're a past graduate in the stands, anywhere else on the track, if you're a past graduate, please stand and be recognized. Come on, Toros. There's no former Toros. Mountain View Toros everywhere. We are the Toro Nation. Thank you. Thank you for building the foundation. You're the ones that have built the foundation for the Campus of Champions. Tonight, though, is about the amazing young people on the field. Each is unique and wondrous. Their lives are a collection of stories. Each has faced trials and triumphs, adversity and accomplishment. Tonight, we celebrate each one of these amazing students and announce each one by name. Your individual and collective accomplishments are so numerous that it's going to be impossible to list them all, but I'm going to give it a shot. Here we go. U.S. News and World Report named Mountain View as one of the very top high schools in the country. 763 students are graduating tonight, and 276 of you earned a yellow tassel for achieving a 3.5 GPA or higher. Yes. Congratulations to you, Toros. 12 students earned the Excellence in Service Learning Seal for their meaningful community service. 19 students earned paraprofessional certification, paving a direct path to employment in schools, and graduation seals were earned in the following areas. 37 students earned the National Honor Society seal. 9 students received the Music Conservatory seal. Several others earned the Fine Arts seal, and we're proud to spotlight the incredible achievement of 78 students who earned the prestigious Seal of Biliteracy in 5 languages: the American Sign Language, French, Hindi, Spanish, and Vietnamese. Remarkably, get this, an entire ASL class earned the seal, demonstrating exceptional dedication and skill. In fact, more than 10% of our graduating class of 2025 achieved this honor, celebrating the power of language and communication across cultures. Congratulations to these outstanding multilingual graduates. We're so proud of you. We are also proud to host 39 foreign exchange students this year from 8 countries: Italy, Brazil, Poland, Switzerland, Spain, Vietnam, France, and Germany. For those graduating tonight, you'll see their nation's flags displayed proudly on the field, and we're so grateful for our students that have come from faraway places. Our advanced placement program continues to thrive with 780 AP exams taken this spring. We're proud of our students recognized by the National Merit Program and the National Recognition Program. A record 246 students have received merit-based scholarships, totaling more than $14.6 million in scholarships, tuition waivers, and grants. Our students are making a difference in the world of science and sustainability. Led by Miss Mandy Hill, students from the Sonoran Photo Lab secured over $4,000 in funding through the Mesa Youth Climate Action Fund for research related to climate change. They also presented their work at the SPV Lab Conference at ASU. Many of our graduates have received church mission calls and will soon venture all across the globe, from Lima, Peru, to Durban, South Africa, to serve and represent their faith. Others will enter the workforce immediately after graduation. And we have students right here on the field who have signed to serve in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, National Guard, and Coast Guard. And if you're numbered among them, please stand right now, Toros, so we can recognize your patriotism and bravery. Toros, we salute you. Yes, so very proud of you. Thank you. You may be seated. Our yearbook, under the leadership of Ms. Landon Rather, earned both the Silver Crown from Columbia University and a Pacemaker Award for the National Scholastic Press Association, placing us among the top, get this, the top 20 yearbooks in the entire United States. Under the guidance of Miss Meg Howell, seated in the front row, several seniors qualified for the National Speech and Debate Tournament this June. One of our students was recognized as a National Speech and Debate Academic All-American. Our We the People team, led by Mr. Stephen Miner and Mrs. Leanne Reese, took second in their region and fourth in the state. They had the top unit score overall in each of their competitions. Our academic decathlon team, under Mr. Corey Helsel and Mr. Freeman Pruitt, placed 16th in the entire nation out of more than 70 schools that qualified for nationals, winning 7 individual medals in the most competitive division in the country. One student even won gold at regionals, state, and nationals, and delivered a gold medal speech at nationals before an audience of over 1,000 people. And we have more. In DECA, led by Ms. Stacy Massiangelo, our students competed at both state and national levels, winning a state championship and earning the Business Student of the Year award. Under the leadership of Ms. Isabel Chavez and Ms. Isabel Uribe, our Hacktivate team won the citywide competition with a powerful project addressing food systems and combating food insecurity in Arizona. The Model UN team, led by Ms. Catherine Threlkel, is this year's state champion. Have you noticed the theme? Placing first at the ASU Model UN Conference, earning Best Large Delegation. The team traveled to Greece to represent Mountain View on an international competition stage. They continue to bring global awareness and diplomacy into the classrooms of Mountain View. Thanks to the leadership of Ms. Amanda Meldau, our student council received the Outstanding Council of Distinction. They donated $2,500 to charity, $1,000 in scholarships to Mountain View students, and organized 8 blood drives that resulted in 957 lives that were saved. In career and technical education, our Education Professions Club program, led by Dr. Cindy McGuire, took first in the Educators Rising State competition in the Research Learning Challenge, placed second and fourth in writing an original children's book, and second in the Power of Being an Educator speech. Beyond ed professions, our CTE programs continue to thrive. This year, over 43 of our students participated in internships with organizations like the Mayo Clinic, Empire Cat, Banner Health, and right here in Mesa Public Schools. Every CTE program engaged in job shadows, and students across pathways from video production to sports medicine earned industry certifications, college credit, and top honors in competition. From photography, students exhibiting internationally, to our marketing team and producing state finalists and international qualifiers, Mountain View CTE students are not just preparing for the future, they're already shaping it. In performing arts, our students continue to shine. 16 band, 20 orchestra, and 27 choir students earned regional recognition. 4 band, 2 orchestra, and 15 choir students made All-State, with 4 All-State jazz choir members. Both band and orchestra received the prestigious William E. Richardson Program of Distinction Award, with Mountain View as the only band in the state to receive this honor. Under the direction of Miss Amanda Carson and Miss Paige Canale, our dance program earned a superior rating at the Arizona State Dance Festival and launched a chapter of the National Honor Society for Dance Arts. Dancers also partnered with Stapley Junior High to start a dance club there, teaching choreography for student performance. In February, all 3 dance levels, Crew, Elevate, and Advanced, were adjudicated through dance device labs and received high praise, especially for student choreographed works. In fine arts, at the Arizona State Fair, Mountain View students earned an impressive 23 total awards, including a distinguished special award presented to the students in Mr. Pete Blayhock's ceramics class, Dr. Melissa Manganero's jewelry class, and Mr. Jeffrey's photography class. At the Young at Art Mesa District Art Show, Mountain View once again led all district high schools with 64 awards. Among these honors was the prestigious Best of Show 2D Award. Student winners represented a wide range of artistic disciplines, including ceramics, drawing, graphic design, jewelry, photography, mosaics, and stained glass. The 2024-25 school year stands as one of the most historic and successful in the proud tradition of Mountain View athletics, marked by championship victories, groundbreaking first, an unprecedented level of excellence across nearly every sport. It truly was a hallmark year. Highlights include our Toro Jazz team captured a state title. Our Palm team remains among the most elite in the entire United States. Our Toro boys beach volleyball team won state in the very first year of this emerging sport. In another first, our unified boys track and field team just brought home the first unified sports state championship in school history. Our Toro football team made a historic run to the state championship game, playing at ASU Stadium for the first time in nearly 20 years, finishing as state runners-up. Our Palm team also earned runner-up honors at the state level. Several other teams had standout seasons, finishing among the top 4 in the state. Girls cross country, boys wrestling, girls wrestling, flag football, and boys swim all finished in the Final 4 in the entire state. When we expand the scope to the Elite 8, top 8 finishes, a remarkable 17 of our 27 sports made it to the Elite 8. That's a resounding 63% it finished among the elite programs in the entire state of Arizona. Even more astonishing, get this, 26 of our 27 teams qualified for postseason play, a stunning 96%, a true testament to the culture of excellence at Mountain View. On an individual level, our athletes brought home championship hardware as well. The girls swim 4x100 relay team won state, along with 3 individual state champions in wrestling. In track and field, our 4x800 relay team, as well as our 1,600 and 3,200 meter runners, captured state titles. And in the unified state track meet, Mountain View athletes won 3 state championships. In total, 15 student athletes can proudly claim the title of state champion. Many others earned all-state and all-region honors, so many, in fact, that reading all their names would take as long as the graduation ceremony itself. So Mountain View Toro family, for their excellence in academics, the arts, service, leadership, and athletics, we are proud to honor the class of 2025 as one of the most well-rounded and well-accomplished graduating classes in the entire Mountain View history. We are so very proud of you. In a profound way, you have added to the legacy of the Campus of Champions. So Toro Nation, go forth with pride. You are the dreamers, the visionaries, and the architects of tomorrow. And remember, once a Toro, always a Toro. This graduating class, Toro Nation, this graduating class introduced a rally cry that captured the spirit of who we are. It's better to be a Toro than to compete against one. So tonight we're going to add to that legacy, and I think this is going to become a thing. And here we go. I'm going to say, respect for all. You're going to respond, Toros, with fear of none, and then we'll do, it's better to be a Toro than to compete against one. You ready? Audience participation, here we go. Respect for all. It's better to be a Toro. Don't you ever forget that. Graduates, carry that mindset with you into your careers, your families, your communities, and the challenges ahead. Live with respect. Walk with courage, and let the world feel what it means to be a Toro for the rest of your lives. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our 48th graduating class, one of the best ever. The Mountain View High School class of 2025. Students, please stand. Governing Board Member Mrs. Lacey Chaffee and Dr. Randy Mallerwine, it is with great pride that I present the Mountain View High School class of 2025. I hereby certify that the students receiving diplomas tonight have satisfactorily completed the course of study prescribed for graduation by the Mesa Unified School District's Governing Board and the requirements of the Arizona State Board of Education. Congratulations, Toros. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in singing our Mountain View alma mater, performed by band, choir, and orchestra. It will then be our pleasure to welcome to the podium Mesa Public Schools Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Randy Mallerwine, to congratulate the Toro class of 2025. And I think I was supposed to have you keep standing during the singing of our Mountain View alma mater. So Mountain View Toros, stand up one more time. And if you'd like to join us in the audience by standing as well, stretch those legs while we perform our Mountain View alma mater.
Good evening, Mountain View community, Mountain View staff, but most of all, Mountain View graduates. I had a little bit of a speech planned, but Dr. Oliver, I kind of shared it with him a week and a half ago, and he pretty much stole it all. So I'm going to try and make this quick, but I would like to leave you guys with something memorable. I'll start with a little story. I moved out here in 1997 from Ohio. I didn't know anything about Arizona. But one thing I learned really quickly that the premier high school in Arizona was Mountain View. And the Mountain View legacy permeated through the East Valley. And you learn about great athletes and great graduates from Todd Heap, Joe Germain, Greg Allen, and tonight I got to meet April Steiner Bennett, 2008 Olympian from Mountain View graduate. The legacy just continues to grow. But before I came to Mesa, I was in a much more inferior school district in the South. You started to hear about other schools. You started to hear about Hamilton, Pinnacle. And it was like Mountain View was sort of shrinking back to just being a great high school and not the elite high school. But after what Dr. Oliver shared tonight, something happened 4 years ago that changed and made Mountain View elite again. And that was the incoming freshman class that sits before me. And you guys have earned the right to be called the campus of champions. You've earned it in the classroom, you've earned it in the performance arena, and you've earned it on the athletic field. And I would want to share with you, that's probably the greatest lesson that high school could teach you, was that everything has to be earned. Everything worth doing has to be earned. And after listening to the speeches from the students up here, Germany, I hope I said that right, Hayden, Ben, really great speeches, thank you. And they all had a similar thing about perseverance, struggle, failure. But I always try to keep my head wrapped around the idea that I have to earn everything every day, and it puts things in perspective. And I'll tell you, it makes things feel better. It makes things feel like you got more control of it, because the world is going to come at you, and it's going to feel out of control. And if you just dig in, you remember the things you learned here at Mountain View, and you learn that everything has to be earned, you will get through it. Last summer, I took my family to Mexico, and my family, like, they leave me on the beach with everything. 2 umbrellas, a paddleboard, cooler, a couple chairs, Bluetooth speaker, and I'm picking all this stuff up, and I'm trying to carry it back, and I'm getting angry. And I think to myself, quit being a whiner and earn your title as dad. And all of a sudden, I felt proud to take care of my family. I felt proud to bring everything. And it turned something that annoyed me into a positive. And I would ask you guys to think about that, because mindset is about everything that is in front of you. It's how you think about it, how you address it, how you approach it, how you attack it. And so I would just share with you, tonight is a great celebration. You should be incredibly proud, because every single one of you sitting in this audience has earned the right to be a graduate from the campus of champions. The whole East Valley is talking about this school. They're talking about all those accolades that Dr. Oliver got to share. And you were the class that had put that stamp and put our school, Mountain View, in the forefront in the East Valley again. So congratulations, it was well earned. And remember that as you move forward. Everything before you tonight has been earned. I'm proud to be a part of Mesa Public Schools. I'm proud to be up here and stand here and hopefully give you just a little bit of a valuable message. I would say congratulations. You guys have earned this. You're going to go on and do great things. Have a great evening. Make smart choices tonight. Congratulations. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Governing Board Member Lacey Chaffee. She's a great champion for everything we do at Mountain View. I just found out tonight when she stood up, she was a grad. I don't know why I'm surprised. Miss Chaffee.
As Dr. Mallory said, 23 years ago, I sat where you are today. I swore I would never again experience the sweltering Arizona heat in a graduation robe, which is essentially a giant plastic bag. But never say never, here I am. I graduated from Mountain View in 2002, which meant that my senior year had a very sad and unsettling start. For on the morning of September 11th, 2001, I woke up to the news that planes had hit the World Trade Center. We went through the motions of the day as students, stunned. I distinctly remember sitting in Paul Davis's Spanish classroom, watching the news in shock. As students, we didn't know what the future would hold. After September 11th, there was, in some ways, a great deal of national unity, but there was also a lot of fear. And fear leads to division. We experience a lot of that today. Over the years, the world, my world, shifted and changed. The future that I couldn't quite see all those years ago has brought me here today. Mom of 5 kids, working at ASU, serving on the school board. But let me tell you a secret about looking back. You are going to have regrets. It's just part of life. In looking back at my years at Mountain View, I wish that I had been brave enough to do speech and debate with Meg Howell. I wish that I had been paying a little more attention to the good-looking guy in the halls named Leif Chaffee. And I wish I'd been more inclusive. Because the number one thing that I would say to my high school self is this: the people around you are your community, not your competition. After years of sports teams and GPA battles and job applications, it can be really difficult to keep that in mind. But my challenge to you today, as you venture off into your future, is to build community. Learn about others, work with them, work to understand them. My son Stetson is graduating tonight, and I feel he said it best in a TED Talk he delivered last week in Jenny Denton's dual enrollment English class. He said, "Be the one who listens when it's easier to shout. Be the bridge in a time of walls, because the only way we move forward is if we move forward together." I've seen so many of you do that, and it gives me great hope for our future when I spend time with you. I know that your time at Mountain View has lit a fire in you to go out and do good. Author Valerie Kaur was inspired to write words about love and community after a tragic incident that happened less than a mile from here when a family friend was killed in a hate crime after September 11th. She said, "The key is keeping your fire." I want to close with her words. "The passion to change the world flickers in you like a flame. And if you let that light go out, you will be robbing the world of your greatest gift. Your task today is not to know what the future holds. Your task is to protect that flame." Dr. Oliver, I am happy to accept the class of 2025 and confirm that these students have satisfactorily completed the Mesa Unified School District's and the Arizona State Board of Education's requirements for graduation.
Benjamin Allen Van Horn. Hayden Race Bishop.
Isabella Elizabeth Jones. Samantha Jean Jones.
Jermalee Jean Louise. Mary Therese Ninos Ablahad.
Giselle Marie Juan. Yasmin Esperanza Juan Gaspar.
Ashley Faye Abraham, Anthony Ryan Abrazizi,
Daniel Robert Judd, Michaela Ray Judkins,
Giovanna Isabella Abrazizi, Trenton Gay Acosta,
Hyuna Zheng, Brighton Page Karen,
Lucy Jean Harris, Roberto Adame Hernandez,
Lauren Elizabeth Keeler, Emma and Jeanette Kennedy,
Daniel Grant Adams, Maylee Anna Marbury Adams,
Macy Lynn Kindernay, Madison Lee King,
Michael Bartley Adams, Landon Slade Kaipo Adarento,
Arrow Cadence Kincaid, Alvin Kiporo,
Alice Alborgetti, Danica Fowlin Albrecht,
Tinder Bay Kleppinger, Claire Michelle Comenda,
Dawson Thomas Alderman, Emily Tiny Aldridge,
David Dean Cormanick, Cade Barclay Couts,
Nathan Jude Alleman, Cash Andrew Allen,
Daniel Timothy Craich, Aaron Michael Kreis,
Bella Rose Allred, Sierra Cheyenne Allred,
Alexa Kukoy, Kyler Michael Karatko,
Chiquinquita del Carmen Alvarez Parra, Katia Valentina Amadisca,
Jarrett Matthew Kyle, Jasper Crew Lake,
Melina Harper Emmels, Dominique Anaya Rosas,
Ashley Renee Lamb, Lucy Jean Lamoureux,
L. Marie Anchi, Bailey Rochelle Anderson,
Dayton Carter Lang, Caroline Janelle Langton,
Macy Jean Anderson, Sebastian Nicolas Ariano,
Chase Paul Stephen Laporte, Brighton J. Larson,
Skangina Aristide, Ella Jane Arnett,
Sarah Ellen Larson, Isabella Claire Levitt,
Jill Malin Arnett, Liliana Dewan Arriaga,
Jersey Lynette Levitt, Mackenzie Jane Levitt,
Aubrey Lynn Arrington, Miley Lane Arrington,
Bethany Darlene Ledner, Ziana Heaven Lee,
Valentina Aviles, Mia Renee Babb,
Brooks Harold Lewis, Haley Jean Lewis,
Devin Anthony Bacon, Mason LeGrand Badgett,
Sophie Grace Lewis, Winter Destiny Stormy Leza,
Abigail Bailey, Alexander Cole Bailey,
Sydney Tice Licklighter, Jacobo Liedo Temes,
Sienna Grace Baird, Brooke Kelly Baldwin,
Bailey Morgan Lillenquist, Angelique Lincoln,
Miriam Adolaya Ballard, Madeline Ann Ballantyne,
Jackson Heath Lines, Antoine Christopher Lursris,
Scout Paisley Banner, Yareli Guadalupe Benuelos Vasquez,
Benjamin Harrison Livingstone, Grant McKinley Livingstone,
Kalia Ann Barnes, Beckham Howard Barney,
Melody Lee Lohr, Zechariah Michael Lopez,
Gabriel Antonio Barreras, Natalie Page Barrett,
Jaden Dallas Lovell, Riley Ann Lowinger,
Angelica Beretta, Lillian Grace Bashaw,
Anna London Luke, Enrique Tayabas Luna,
Kate Cole Bastian, Brock David Botter,
Alondra Luna Batista, Cameron Reese Luster,
McKenna Ray Badeau, Aubrey Ann Bellis,
Drew Isaac Libert, Winter Breeze Macazan,
Rashaya Lene Bennett, Ana Paula Bermudez,
Elizabeth Gonzalez McIntosh, Coral Ray Madden,
Max Bayer, Isabella Veronica Benon.
Kinga Anna Madej. Tex Lynn Mayer.
Raiden Jeremy Baya. Tyler Tate Bigler.
Lolabella Bliss Milan McDonald. Isaac Alfredo Maldonado.
Brody Scott Bingham. Kayla Ann Bishop.
Meleane Madison Monaco. Serenity Abigail Mann.
Danea Ellen Bitsini. Claire Annabelle Blomquist.
Sarah Lynn Manning. Natalie Lizette Mazzano Jimenez.
Nicholas Cole Anders Blomquist. Chance Scott Bluth.
Andrew Glenn Marble. Spencer Philip Marriott.
Piper Madison Boone. Nehemiah Llewellyn Noel Borden.
Lauren Aline Martineau. Ariana Jolette Martinez.
Ariana Borge. Jaden Antonio Borzelli.
Corina Justina Martinez. Mark Anthony Martinez.
Bailey Bostock. Agnes May Bowers.
Mitzi Valentina Martinez San Juan. Leticia Irani Martinez Valdez.
Emery Rain Brewer. Emily Glade Bowers.
Brody Tyler Mason. Amber Nicole Massey.
Bryson Joey Bradshaw. Emily Dawn Bradshaw.
Stacy Mata Mejia. Adam Kojo Matsukawa.
Avery Lee Branham. Lily Jade Bran.
Adam Russell McCain. Taylor May McClung.
Colton Porter Brewer. Courtney Judith Brewer.
Aiden Tyler McCollum. Jack Alexander McCook.
Landon Mason Brewer. Bridger Waylon Bryan.
Emily Lynn McDonald. Marquay Joe Ray McGuire Holder.
Christian Michael Bryan. Wells Larson Bryan.
Benjamin Michael McWhorter. Aiden Dale McWilliams.
Adele Emmanuel Christine Briggs. Tanner Joseph Brimhall.
Levi John Meir. Mariela Joseline Medina Rivera.
Brooke Rose Brinkerhoff. Brooklyn Elizabeth Brown.
Adeline Renee Meeks. Jonathan Carlos Melgoza.
Colin Crawford Brown. Emma Christine Browning.
Jonathan Manahan Mendez Ruiz. Orion Adam Mendoza.
Vanessa Joe Broyles. Zachary Allen Burnett.
Naya Isabella Mendoza Medina. Lluvia Fernanda Mendoza Morales.
Khalil Lavelle Burley. Carson Michael Butler.
Kelsey Rain Meredith. Samantha Marino Ascension.
Peyton Darla Rose Butler. Yuko Liliana Cacciatore.
Mallory Merkley. Fabian Mesa Godinez.
Lily Jeanette Cadiente. Daniel Michael Calhoun.
Skylar Ray Miles. Brooklyn Hart Milanes.
Abigail Marie Cameron. Adelaide Joe Campbell.
Aiden Riley Miller. Tate Jordan Miller.
Carly Ann Campbell. Kata Brielle Campbell.
Hiram Daniel Millett. Angelique Nicole Miramontes.
Keegan Robert Campbell. Brenna Renee Campos.
Valerie April Mirando Rosales. Tayden Benjamin Merville.
Irande de Los Angeles Camposano Alvarez. Elena Annalisa Canes.
Patricia Angeli Molina Soto. Yesenia Molina Cardenas.
Timothy Gustavo Carriega. Holly Elizabeth Carey.
Elizabeth Monsiváis Esquer. Urgel Montanay E. Gattel.
Harvey McKay Carling. Eric Alice Allen Carlson.
Eduardo Briton Montanez Rodriguez.
Porter James Carpenter. Diane Carrera Lerma.
Alan Monson. Evan Wayne Moore. Marcus Morales.
Jonathan Castaneda Martinez. Marco Antonio Castellan Paredes.
Maya Nicole Moreno. Stacy Mary Morgan.
Alexa Judith Castillo Rosas. Brianna Castro.
Brielle Christine Morin. Haley Eden Morrow.
Jocelyn Castro Gutierrez. Jennifer Cazares Castillo.
Peyton Allen Moser. Lily Kathleen Mullen.
Isabel Laurie Cesar. Stetson David Chaffee.
Wyatt Holden Murdoch. Skylar Marie Myrie.
Eliza Lariana Charette. Jenny Chavez.
Abby Rachel Nolick. Emmy Leah Nolick.
Itzel Alessi Chavez Garcia. Keaton Thane Checketts.
Michele Napolitano. Mira Narasimon.
Lane Reen Shago. Christian Talon Chiapetto.
Savannah Love Navaj. Erica Isabel Navarrete.
Antonio Chico Cervantes. Vaughn Thorwald Christensen.
Linus Elias Nima. Addie Joe Nelson.
Julianne Church. Nevea Socorro Church.
Kate Marianne Nelson. Caden Jack Nelson.
Abram Orr Clarkson. Kylan Kiara Kloschy.
Abigail Jean Noose. Joe Wynn.
Ryan Allen Clifford. Cooper David Klein.
Mia Wynn. Tiffany Ann Nichols.
Reagan Michelle Combs. Jace Johnson Conover.
Peyton Matthew Nicholson. Nathan William Nielsen.
Addison Kate Cook. Eliza Jane Cooley.
Reese Brooke Nielsen. Alexander Ray Neighbor.
Jax Robert Santiago Cordova. Juan Corona Contreras.
Brandon Johan Nieto. Juan Josue Nunez Ayala.
Angel Gabriel Corrales Espinoza. Randall Matthew Costiano.
Connor Jonathan Wayne O'Donnell. Nicholas Stephen Odell.
Diana Stephanie Cota Ruiz. Cameron George Couch.
Amaya Sincere Ogman. Nova Aaliyah Oli.
Kaylani Michelle Lene Courtney. Evelyn Cox.
Serafina Serene Olden. Aron Fabian Olivares Hernandez.
Miley Lane Cox. Lincoln Lee Craycraft.
Jesus Ramon Olivaria Gomez. Riley Lynn Olson.
Jackson James Crane. Lydia May Kreider.
Janessa Renee Orozco. Rafe William Orr.
Layla Ann Crimmins. Lena Shea Cronin.
Celeste Ortiz Aguilar. Alexander James Otten.
Rhea Marie Cronin. Sophie Elizabeth Cullimore.
Ava Rochelle Otter. Denai Arlette Padilla.
Jack William Cunningham. Layla Nicole Curry.
Rustin James Palmer. Lane Jared Papa.
Maddox Hayden Curtis. Francisco Michael Daniels.
Emery Jane Parker. Zane Alexander Parker.
Jessica Jean Dashney. Aiden Thomas Davidson.
Aubrey Morgan Paris. Osvaldo Jesus Pascual Sebastian.
Clara Jane Davis. Dylan Porter Davis.
Sia Sunkumar Patel. Tomuhini Atelolo Pau.
Dylan James Davis. Lily Marie Davis.
Brooke Nicole Pearson. Kale Madison Petty.
Tyler Kent Davis. Jasmine May Davison.
Frankie Garnett Piercy. Clara Jane Penrod.
Daniel Jacob Day. Sarah De Gomis.
Angel Nicole Peñuelas. Daniel Kenneth Perez.
Evelyn De Ojeda Cornejo. Jordan Kate Decker.
Jesus Enrique Perez. Nevea Perez.
Savannah Sherry Decker. Ashley Marie Dees.
Thomas Perez. Claire Elizabeth Peterson.
Colin Luke Del Bianco. Benjamin Del Lano.
Owen Maines Peterson. Alexander Nicholas Peterson.
Elena Grace Sablon Guerrero. Bryson J.R. Denning.
An Tui Fun. Jenna V. Fan.
Hiram Kimball Denton. Mattia Dari.
Lily Alice Fippen. Adam Matthew Pierce.
Adriana Diaz. Pascual Domingo Diego Francisco.
Oliver Edward Stone Pierce. Jorge Seth Pimienta Knight.
Diana Dimas Medina. Isaac Jason Douglas.
Elisa Soledad Piña. Sherlyn Ponce.
Rockwell Isaiah Drysdale. Luke Bradley Dunn.
Courtney Ann Prince. Liam Mark Pullman.
Jared Blake Dutton. Bradley Scott Dyer.
Summer Ray Rabago. Christian Isaac Ramirez.
Kimberly Rain Earl. Tatum Nicole Eaton.
Angel Ramirez Cruz. Fernando Ramos Americano.
Caitlin Marie Edgeworth. Austin Jade Edwards.
Sofia Raponi. Alessandra Raimundo Ponce.
Claire Shanae Ellingson. Macy Ellingson.
Sylvia Denise Redbird. Aiden Lee Reed.
Zoe Sky Enright. Isela Renee Escalante.
Victor Manuel Regalado. Gabriel Mario Resick.
Messiah Amar Essex. Betsy Ruby Estrada Barcenas.
Ruben Reina Sanchez. Samantha Haley Richardson.
Austin Richard Evans. Logan Chad Evans.
Sabrina Isabella Rivera. Natalie Sayasane Roberts.
Adele Lynn Everhart. Ryan Joseph Falduto.
Anna Taylor Robinson. Emily Starr Robinson.
Lana Presley Farber. Nixon Grant Farnworth.
Seneca Kate Robinson. Bliss Tyler Robinson.
Eddie Sunford Felipe Diego. Ledger Cave Felsted.
Miranda Lee Rocha Garcia. Rosie Rodriguez Garcia.
Landon Parker Finning. Travis Scott Lewin Farron.
David Rodriguez Pacheco. Miguel Rodriguez Pacheco.
Annabella Rose Fessler. Nicholas Ethan Figueroa.
Renee Ann Rogers. Jesus Roberto Rojas Espino.
Joshua Sims Fillmore. Tanner Stephen Finch.
Melanie Andrea Romero Dominguez. Maximilian Baruch Romney.
Joshua Lance Fennell. Carson Riley Fishbeck.
Miguel Angel Rosas Galvan. April Annette Rose.
Cambria Jade Fisher. Kylie Luann Fisher.
Celeste Anna Roy. Brandon Rubio Hernandez.
Nicholas Fitzgerald. Riley Rose Fleming.
Camille Angelin Rudd. Claudia Renee Ruiz.
Noelia Guen Tejas Flores. Yair Flores Guzman.
Servando Ruiz. Juan David Ruiz Davalos.
Katia Flores Rivas. Gabriel Dylan Fonseca.
Marcus Alexander Russell. Jesol Guadalupe Salas Espinosa.
Chip Elizabeth Foote. Reagan Jane Fosberg.
Rafael Isaiah Salazar. Braden Eric Sanchez.
Abigail Ann Foster. Chase Garrett Foster.
Marilyn Reyes Sanchez. Sofia Ileana Sanchez.
Peyton Matthew Foster. Maya Kali Focus.
Jacqueline Sandoval Alcaraz. Addison May Schetzel.
London Marie Fouché. Mariana Regina Franco.
Cambry Elizabeth Shield. Celise Heaven Schurz.
Sarai Irene Franco. Bronson James Frazier.
Skylar Richard Schwab. Navu Paley Seitz.
Wyatt Michael Frazier. Kelly Yu Fritsch.
Melody Sarai Serrano. Samantha Jamie Sessions.
Logan Olivia Fritz. Bryce Allen Frost.
Jack Ian Shapiro. Tatum Ruth Schill.
Isaiah Tiago Fuentes. Nephi Raymond Fulton.
Brooklyn Nicole Schindeldecker. Tavita Verl Shom.
Jamie Shea Funk. Olivia Jean Gaines.
Thomas W. Skablund. Ian Latrell Skidmore.
Mateo Santana Gaitan. Riley Paul Gallagher.
Madison Elizabeth Skinner. Carter Paul Skogabo.
Jennifer Isabella Galvez Espino. Guadalupe Gamboa Zamorano.
Andrew Joseph Slayton West. Kaylin Michelle Smallwood.
Luis Jesus Garcia Flores. Christopher Romel Garcia Coda.
Alexis Lynn Smith. Adam Allen Smith.
Grace Rose Gardner. Hunter Matthew Gardner.
Chloe K. Smith. Jace Tyler Smith.
James Gregory Gardner. Cadence Julianne Gomo.
Caitlin Elizabeth Smith. Paulina Rebecca Smith.
Riley Lanice Geiger. William Tibor Tien Gebb.
Sage Leanne Smith. Brody James Snyder.
Bren Noble Gibson. Caleb Jakari Gibson.
Ethan Kaplan Snyder. Jackson Thomas Sosha.
Mark Isaac Giles. Cash William Gladden.
Casey Cherie Soderblom. Daniel Aiden Solano.
Joseph Groberg Glenn. Aaron Stradling Godfrey.
Valeria Solis. Hugo Soto.
Magnum Travis Wiley Goff. Alexander Jan Goash.
Jonathan Paul Soto. Savannah Alejandra Soto.
Len Michael Goldtooth. Geraldine Gomez Mahia.
Crew Douglas Spencer. Lexi Jane Staley.
Noel Gonzalez. Haley Gonzalez Garcia.
Samuel McKay Standage. Lily Makia Stapley.
Carlos Javier Gonzalez Guerrero. Chanchetka Jasmine Gonzalez Romero.
Patrick Zachary Starks. Reagan Lee Starks.
Brian Elizabeth Goodman. Kennedy Ray Goodman.
Angelie Marie Steen. Brooklyn Diem Steiner.
Raider Brian Goodman. Bren Lee Goodmanson.
Peyton Joseph Steiner. Easton Gerald Staskell.
Janae Rita Goodwin. Nicholas James Gordon.
Frederick Calvin Shelton Still. Reese Matthew Stockton.
William Gore. Clayton Jace Green.
Summer Mary Kate Story. Emily Page Stover.
Gabrielle Maite Green. Zach Jacob Gregory.
John Woods Stradling. Jonathan Andrew Sterner.
Dominic Azrael Gray. Arrow Adele Griffith.
Devin Alexander Suarez. Michael James Sumko.
Tessa Marie Groberg. Bryson Chad Gundry.
Mia Christina Sweater. Tavita Tualolo Ina Taasi.
Caleb Jared Gunnell. Ty Stephen Gunnell.
Coulter Jack Talley. Peyton Bashniba Tapahi.
Zariah Josephine Gutierrez. Ricardo Uriel Gutierrez Vargas.
Kylie Tauser. Asari Sylvia Lewis Taylor.
Susan Jasoline Guzman Armenta. Lily
Alina
Tui-Cho Ha.
Alina Brooke Taylor. Jack Miles Taylor.
Mazen Mohammed Halabi. Grant Alden Hale.
Lily May Taylor. Brinley Connie Terr.
Addison Elizabeth Hales. Remy Sky Hall.
Eliza Tenney. Max Winston Terauchi.
Madden Reed Hall. Trevor Glenn Hall.
Derek Jackson Terranova. Timothy Terrones.
Reese Charles Hamilton. Carly Page Hammond.
Layla Mikkel Thomas. Ruben Anthony Thomas.
Connor the Reef Hansen. Austin James Hardison.
Crew Jacob Thompson. Ty John Thompson.
Alyssa Darlene June Harper. Dylan Scott Harris.
Fifi Margot Thruston. Zachary Davis Tidwell.
Kira Lee Harris. Ava Ann Braden Harrison.
Jocelyn Renee Tierney. Levi Hugh Tingy.
Diggy Desmond Harrison. Cade Christian Harrop.
Brandon Xavier Titman. Robert Torres.
Logan Eric Hawkins. Owen William Hawkins.
Alyssa Jade Torres. Evangeline Delia Tranquil.
Jensen Earl Hawes. Ella Carolyn Haynes.
Jax Trexler. Tristan Nicholas Trujillo.
Kimball Jenkins Heel. Hayden Theo Heap.
Simon Henry Trushka. Antoine Sosi.
Isabella Rose Marie Hemphill. Hunter Elijah Hinion.
Addison Nicole Turek. Samuel Edward Turchik.
Gigi Maxine Henry. Luke Casper Henry.
Journey Ray Turgeson Rundillo. Devin Grant Turner.
Joel Hermosillo Cota. Alyssa Hernandez.
Ryan Jameson Turner. Donovan Marcel Thames.
Gabriel Alexis Hernandez. Jennifer Eileen Hernandez.
Tina Tupo Wasque. Griffin Pace Udall.
Esteban Eli Hernandez Duarte. Giovanni Hernandez Romo.
William Scott Updike. Grace Ann Ernest.
Regina Herrera Marquez. Renata Herrera Marquez.
Jessica Elizabeth Ussery. Alicia Valdez.
Nevin Caleb Herrick. Braden Dwight Heron.
Cesar Valdez. Paloma Venezuela Corona.
Pate Reed Hyatt. Colin Daniel Hicks.
Jackson Ford Van Horn. Cassidy Ann Vance.
Allison Hidalgo. Brianna Scarlett Higgins.
Tate David Vance. Keith Owen Vardy.
Maya Guadalupe Hill. Shaylee Lynn Hill.
Karime Marcivel Vasquez Trejo. Oh, sorry. Christian David Vasquez Trejo.
Jarrett Ransom Winchester Hillis. Rita Simone Hilton.
Valeria Alejandra Velasco Narvaez. Sydney Grace Wade.
Aubrey Elizabeth Henshaw. Grant Weldon Hobbs.
Riley Adam Walker. Alexander Jonathan Wall.
Stacia Leslie Hoffman. Adelaide Shea Hogan.
Cedric Wasihun Walters. Natalie Judith Ward.
Josephine Michaelis Hogue. Blaze Mont Hogel.
Fallon Jade Washburn. Andrew William Watterson.
Jesse May Hogel. Seth Jacob Holloway.
Cameron Thomas Welch. Donatello Anthony Wellington Borquez.
Deacon Zachary Holyoke. Ammon Heber Hopkinson.
Wyatt Ryan Went. Benjamin Jeremiah Westbrook.
Caden Gregory Horn. Melody Ray Hosh.
Brooklyn Jalissa Westbrook. Harley Rose Westbrook.
Josiah Alexander Hoshar Daw. Kaylee Ann Hoskin.
Aubrey Whiting. Ella Renee Whiting.
Marcus Ivan Houghton. Jolie Marie Howard.
Mackenzie Ann Wigley. Porter Stephen Wilhelm.
Ryan Thomas Howland. Dane Thomas Hughes.
Levi Floyd Wilkinson. Charlotte Williams.
Grace Emberlyn Hunt. Calvin Strother Husted.
Herbert Austin Williams VI. Keza Rebecca Williams.
Chase Michael Houston. Shiloh Christine Hutchinson.
Levi Hunter Williams. Craig Allen Williamson.
Miguel Angel Ibarra. Ethan Porter Jackson.
Madeline Day Willis. Jackson Reese Wilson.
Logan Reese Jackson. Jared James.
Lucas Mark Wilson. Holly Faith Wallach.
Callie Rose Jennings. Nathaniel Lamar Jennings.
Nina Wolf. Kenya Lena Wood.
Alexis Cora Johnson. Allie Marie Johnson.
Deidre Michelle Woods. Meg Woods.
Clark William Johnson. Galvin Scott Johnson.
Oliver M. Woods. Jackson LeGrand Woolley.
Jason Daniel Johnson. Kate Ryan Johnson.
Ava Rose Wright. Thomas David Wright.
McKenna Niece Johnson. Ray Luis Johnson.
Colton Daniel Yanez. Quincy Javion Yankaway.
Savannah Ray Johnson. Xander Jake Johnson.
Justice Britton Yank. Deshaun Dion Yazi.
Ethan Stewart Jones. Esteban Bushinton.
Lily Kate Young. Lisbeth Zacharias Hernandez.
Roman Kuchiev. Aliyah Gonzalo Micheli.
Kimberly Zuniga Diaz. Claudia Zulian.
Fernando Eliasib Camacho.
Spencer Eldon Lewis.
Waiting for everybody to sit. Class of 2025, this is it. Congratulations on your amazing accomplishments. We are going to count down from 3, and you are going to turn your tassels from right to left. Count with me. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations!